Okay, so this is just our convention recap call. It's not our team call, so I know a lot of people weren't able to get on because it was last minute, but I wanted you guys to be able to hear just a little bit about our experience with convention and have a few of you, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you're on and you were at convention, I'll open it up for y'all to give your takeaways for everyone. But I wanted you guys to be able to experience it. And I know that this year I had over 100 people from my team at convention. So that was really awesome because the prior year we probably had about 30, maybe 25 or 30. So I was really excited to see so many people there and able to experience convention because it really was amazing. I've been to Dallas was my first convention. Then I went to Phoenix and now Vegas. And by far, this was my favorite convention. I think just the overall camaraderie and the fact that we were able to, even though there was 11,500 people there, it felt like family. It did for me anyways. And it was a really just great experience. It was a really good to get to know Tarl and Alec and Marianne and the team better. Even if you were sitting way, way up in the stands, I think you still had that sense that you got to know them and who they are and what they stand for. So that was really exciting. So day one. Okay, day one was the first day, and they had the gala that night, and that was for the top earners for the contest. And that was really awesome because we got to see them all getting ready. A lot of them had hair and makeup coming into the hotel, and they looked stunning. They had beautiful ball gowns, and Michael Bolton was there. Victor Antonio was there. He got to join in that. And so that was a really fun experience. There was a buzz about the hotel with all of those people enjoying the gala. Lots of Facebook Live videos, so it felt like you were there even though you weren't there. It was a really, really fun time. They opened the Plexus store, which was awesome. It was huge. It had so much merchandise, just tons of clothes, hats, bottles, purses, anything that could be monogrammed with Plexus. They even had poker chips and decks of cards, and just it was really fun. So they had that store open. They did an opportunity meeting on the first night, and there was over 700 people at that opportunity meeting, which I thought was really neat. Victor Antonio, like I said, was there. He made his little debut around the hotel. I know a lot of you guys got to see him and take pictures with him, so that was really fun. So that was exciting for day one. Day two got even better. It was pretty, just the energy in the stadium was insane. I'm sure you've seen pictures of how it was. It was literal stadium seating, so it was thousands of people. The Jewels got to sit on the floor, and so looking up and looking back, and the whole place was just surrounded with Plexus people. So that was an incredible feeling to be down on that floor and have that privilege. It was really exciting. We had a Jewels breakfast on day two, and that was phenomenal. They had this huge breakfast set up for us. We could come in, and we got to do a little preview of the store and shop, and that just, it goes to show that, being a Jewel really is fun. There's so many perks and benefits. So it's something that you guys should be striving to do because you really do get treated like royalty. They're so kind and so generous to us. For them to do that was not cheap. And it was special for us to be able to preview the store and have breakfast and just be able to get in there before the 11,000 other people wanted to get into the store. So that was pretty cool. We opened with a cover band. A lot of people actually thought that it was Aerosmith because they really couldn't see, and the guy really did resemble him. They really looked like him. They sounded a lot like him, so the energy was huge, but it was just a cover band. It was not Aerosmith. But they sung Dream On, and Alec and Tarl and Victor gave their what it meant to them to dream on. And I think that the guys that were there, the girls and guys that were there, can tell you, listening to them and hearing their perspective on what dream on meant to them was awesome. I love Alec's heart. Alec has this sweetest heart. He's so sweet. He's genuine. He gets emotional. He's a crier. So he just shares so eloquently, and he's always so heartfelt. So it was really nice hearing that and hearing Taro open up and just really share their passion for their company, the passion that they have for their ambassadors, and the excitement going forward of all the new things. So it was really touching to hear them talk about what the convention meant to them. So that was on day 2. They also recognized everybody in the room that had won the $100 travel or the $100 registration reimbursement, which I thought was awesome. They had everybody stand and they give a big recognition for those people. They recognize people that got the travel voucher, winner's dinner, the black ties. They're always recognizing and giving kudos and pats on the back, and that was really exciting to watch. We also got to learn about the very first new product, which was the revamped block. And now it's, as you've seen all over Facebook, it's the new fast acting block. So it's basically the same. They've just switched some ingredients, added some more, and pumped it up where you don't have to wait anymore. There's no 30 minutes before you eat. You take it right when you eat, and it works amazing. If you have ever seen Keith, he's our international guy. He looks like a totally different person. He's been using the block and the edge, and he looks absolutely incredible. He has lost tons of weight. He feels great. He has great energy. So he's a huge testament of the new product. So it's really fantastic. What is she laughing at? Anyhow, block. So if you haven't ordered the block, do it, and do it now, because the new block testimonies, I got a little peek at the trial testimonies, and holy cow, those testimonies are amazing. So I'm excited to see our Jules testimonies and our ambassadors testimonies from the block, which are already pouring in. I don't know if you guys have noticed Lori Harrison's post. She had a list of people, 5 pounds, 8 pounds, 4 pounds, 2 pounds, all these people posting that they're losing weight. So that's really encouraging about the new block. There were 11,500 ambassadors registered and actually came to convention. So I think that's huge. 11,500 ambassadors. And there were from silver all the way to diamond. They had each rank stand up in the auditorium, and it was incredible. The fact that a silver ambassador would spend the money, number one, and commit to go to convention is huge. Like for me, I had so much respect for the silvers that really just starting in the company or just at that ground level, and that they would invest that into their business. So kudos for them, because that was really impressive. They also had one day, I don't remember which day it was, but they also had all of the Jules who were under 30 stand up. And I was blown away. We have a ton of millennials. Like I could not believe it. There were so many girls, and I think a few guys that were under 30 years old and were already a Jewel. So that was really impressive, and it was nice to see all that in one room and be able to experience it. They did have an international meeting on day 2, and it was in the evening time, and there were 200 ambassadors that were from either Canada, New Zealand, or Australia. I thought that was pretty amazing. 200 people. That's a long trip to make it to Las Vegas. So for those international people to come over and join us at convention was awesome. Day 3, we got to hear from Marianne. And a lot of you probably hadn't ever heard from Marianne. Maybe you've seen her in the newsletters and the emails and stuff that we get from corporate, but you got to meet Marianne and get to know her. And she is fantastic. She went over the new success kit for all the ambassadors that is going to be available in your back office very, very shortly. It was available at convention, so you were able to purchase the success kit, only one, but you will be able to purchase them very soon in the back office. That was day 3. So Marianne went over the new training success kits, and she also went over the Jules training. So that's something that you guys have to look forward to, because I have attended that we call it Joe training, Jules of Excellence training, and it is top notch. It's great to get to know the Jules. It's great to form relationships. And corporate is handing down some really amazing, amazing training. I love that we are not having to reinvent the wheel. We're not having to do our own things anymore, that Marianne and her team have really done a fantastic job with the new success kits. And all of us as duals committed to Alec and Taro to do away with our own trainings. We said we will 100% spend our time as duals training from the success kit. We will incorporate our own personal things to make it our own, but we're no longer recreating training for new ambassadors. The whole idea is to be able to take that success guide that Marianne and her team created and start out a new ambassador and get them running even without an upline. So they give us awesome information. So if you don't have a success kit, make sure to plan on purchasing one as soon as they're available. Also, day 3, we heard from Rita Davenport. If you have not ever heard Rita Davenport, look her up on YouTube. Watch some of her stuff. She is absolutely incredible. She's hysterical. She's Southern. She's very, very comical. She uses humor a lot in her trainings, but she is a spitfire. I absolutely enjoyed her. I saw her at Leaders Retreat prior, so I knew what was coming, but she was a real treat. She talked about a lot of different things, and I have tons of notes, so I won't get into that. But we talked about. I think her whole idea was really focused on the Dream On, like what it means to you, like what does this business mean to you, and what can you do with this business? And I want you guys to think about that too. Is we have a huge gift in Plexus. And no matter if you're a silver ambassador or a jewel ambassador, we all have the same potential to be seriously blessed in our health and seriously blessed in our finances. And it's up to us to move that forward and really go all in and give it 100% so we can be able to reap those blessings. And we don't want to have things stand in our way. We don't want to be fearful. We don't want to let pride. We don't want to let any of those things come in our way to stop us from building a business and growing our teams. So she was just really funny, and she was actually really informative as well, but loved Rita Davenport. Winner's Dinner was day 3. And funny story, I was going to go to Winner's Dinner. I got invited to Winner's Dinner as a guest because I actually did not earn the Winner's Dinner this year. And Odie and I, and Brian actually, and several others, were doing a photo shoot in the hotel in the Skyloft, which was upstairs. We went so over. It was so long and so backed up. Super fun, by the way. Totally amazing. And I want everybody to have an opportunity to do that as a jewel. So I missed Winner's Dinner, but there was 2,500 people at Winner's Dinner, which I thought was, whoa, that's crazy. I think the first 750, they said that they were going to do, but there was 2,500 people at Winner's Dinner. So that was pretty incredible. The dessert reception was after, and so we actually made it to that, and there was an awesome band, there was live music, and there was so many ambassadors, and it was really creative. They had ice cream, sundae shops all over stations, and all sorts of pies and candies and all sorts of cool stuff. So Plexus outdid themselves like they always do. I got to meet with a lot of my team from out of state, which was nice, and I got to take some pictures with them. And one of the things that was a huge blessing for me is that I got to bring my local team and my outside team, and they got to meet some of the people that they had only saw on Facebook. So it's really nice that our teams could get together. I know a lot of the girls on my outside team that were from Melbourne and some from Vero. They all got to hang out, get to know each other, spend some time together, and there was a lot of great relationships formed. And that's what this business is all about, y'all. And since coming home, those ladies are still communicating. They're now paired up. They've started their own Zoom meetings. They're doing some trainings and just holding each other accountable. So that is huge. That is exactly what I wanted to happen. So I'm really, really happy that happened. So convention on a whole, day 4, was awesome. I didn't want it to end. I'm sure, everybody was tired, and it was huge, and Vegas was an enormous hotel. There was tons of walking, lots of crazy stuff to see, but overall, it was amazing. It was incredible. And the last day, they talked about the edge. And the edge, we had a lot of training, product training from one of our new executives, and she talked about the ingredients one of those ingredients, which is only for Plexus. So that's like a patented ingredient. And she talked about that and how awesome that was. And they talked about the new shareables that are going to be in our back office. I believe they launched that today. Our websites have been down because they've added so many new things. They're adding a Leaders Retreat tab. They're adding the shareables. They're adding I Am Plexus videos. So bear with corporate because they're giving us so much new stuff that it's kind of hiccuping here and there. So there's some new things coming out, but the shareables you'll be able to share from your own website the block information, the edge information, and it'll actually be linked to your website. So when someone clicks on it to look at the product, it's going to link to your own website, which I think is absolutely awesome. And I'm so grateful for Plexus for that. The edge. So everybody's talking about it on Facebook. The edge, the edge, the edge. Incredible game changer product, y'all. This product is for energy, it's for clarity, it's for motivation, and it is working. It is amazing. I actually took my very first edge in the Jules training at convention. I had not eaten anything and I had been dieting, remember, for 40 days. So I hadn't had any sugar, any carbs, or any alcohol for 40 days. Probably not the smartest thing to do to try a new product coming off of that. So when I took it, I got really nauseous. I got really sick. So I was a little scared to try it again. But Jennifer had one the other day. I ate lunch. I made sure everything was, my stomach was good. And I took it and I was amazed. I felt absolutely incredible. I felt super motivated. I came home. I went to Home Depot. I started the pig pens. I cleaned. I organized. I did a Zoom. It was awesome. I just felt more focused. I had clarity and I definitely had energy. I had no jitters. I didn't feel nauseous. I didn't have any side effects at all. So that is going to be a game changer for most people. I can tell you with a thyroid issue, energy is gold. So I know so many people that are struggling to have energy and to feel, at the end of the day where they're not dragging. This product, the Edge, is going to be a game changer. So if you have not marketed that yet, you have got to get on that. You need to be messaging everybody you've ever sold a product to, and you need to tell them about the Edge. You need to go through all your preferred customers and say, hey, you've got to try this Edge, add it to your order. You need to go through all your old retail customers and say, hey, you've got to try this new block and Edge. You want your customers on these two new products. It is imperative that you reach out to everyone you know that's ever ordered Plexus, because maybe someone was looking for energy in the triplex and they didn't find it. Maybe someone was looking for energy with the block or the boost or the accelerator, and they didn't have that energy, or maybe they felt one was too much or one was too little. The Edge is a very happy medium. It's that great, sustained, non-jittery, non-habit-forming energy. So you really, really, really want to utilize these two new products. 2 reasons: because they're having incredible testimonies, and because they're new. People love trying things new. So we have clinical trials. It's written on the bottle that there's clinical trials, which is huge. People love that. And we have the testimonies to back it up. So if I can say anything on this call, is that you all need to be utilizing the tools that they brought down in convention, the shareables and all the graphics and all the videos. Share them on Facebook. Start utilizing that Edge and that block. The end of the day 4, we had Little Big Town. Gosh, that was for me. I'm a country music fan, and that's one of my favorite bands. I was second row. I got to sit with the Diamonds for that concert, and my mind was blown. I was a little spoiled, and I had an amazing time, and I took a zillion pictures and a zillion videos, and it totally rocked my world. And it was just one more reminder that Plexus treats us like royalty. I mean, how many companies have you ever worked for, or your spouse or anyone that you've ever known has worked for a company that gives you a private concert with one of the #1 country music bands in the country? Nobody I know, people don't do that. The corporate world is not like that. They're not giving you private concerts with people like Little Big Town. So it just made me love my company and appreciate my company that much more than I already have. If you did not go to convention, you need to put it on the list for next year. I don't care if it's you think, oh, it's a whole year away. You need to start planning for that right now, because I can only imagine how much more incredible it's going to be in a year's time at the pace that we're going right now. In the rate of our momentum, we just had a $50 million month with Plexus. That is mind-blowing. Like, I really can't wrap my head around making $50 million in 1 month. That is the track that we're on with Plexus. This company is going somewhere, and they're going somewhere fast. And we want all of you to go with them. You know, we want all of you on board. We want you guys moving at that same pace and using that same sense of urgency to get the word out. We have a gift. And if anything that I got from this convention is that dreams do come true if you put the work behind it. You can talk all day long, and you can say, I want this, and you can say, I want to promote, you can say, I want to be, gold or senior ruby or whatever it is. But if you're not doing anything to put your plan into action, it won't happen. Your dreams can't come true by wishes. They have to come true by actions. But the fact of the matter is that Plexus gives us the tools to be successful. So all we have to do is put the effort out and the commitment and be 100% all in, draw your line in the sand, like Helen McFadden says. And if you're 100% committed, that means you don't give yourself any out. There is no out. There is no, I might quit, or maybe I might try it for 6 months. No, you say, I'm all in, I'm 100%, I'm going to get to diamond. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my family debt free. I'm going to get my family a savings account. I'm going to get my family vacations. I'm going to retire my husband. I'm going to, pay for my mom at the end of her life for care. Whatever your why and your reasons are, you can have all of those things. And they talked about that. There's nothing that we can't get. We just have to put the effort and the commitment out and the drive out to do it. Alec and Taro talked about how financially stable the company was, how they don't have a board they answer to, that they have ready and available cash to do and spend what they want. That was pretty impressive. Listening to them talk about their financial situation and the fact that they're still a debt-free company after building that huge, huge home office. They have a 90-year lease on the land because it is, I can't remember, it was some type of Indian land, I believe it was. And so they don't sell the property, but they leased it for 90 years. That just tells you what their plans are. They're planning on being here for 90 years. Taro also, which blew my mind, talked about he put in his will what he wants for the future of his company. He cares so much about you guys and your children and your next generation that he cares enough to put what he wants and his vision for his company in his will. That means his company will go forward on his character and his dreams and his vision. And that solidified any type of wavering feeling, any frustrations that I've had with the back office, any frustrations I've had with shipping. It just solidified for me that, you know what, this is an incredible company. We are doing things that other companies have never done. So a hiccup here and there, I'll take it. Because if that's the worst thing that's going on in Plexus right now, we should be really, really thankful. They are so committed to you guys. They want so much for each and every one of you. And like Sheila Medina always says, it's not about your rank. It's about who you are. So I don't care if you're a silver. I don't care if you're gold or senior gold or ruby, senior ruby, emerald, sapphire, or diamond. If you want this, you can have it. You can work hard and you can get all the things that you're dreaming of if you just commit, decide, and go forward in action. So I want to share, I want to have a few people share if you want to. I know Jill was there, Amanda was there, Jennifer was there, Susie was there, Brian was there. So if any of y'all want to just give a little quick tidbit of what you thought about convention, what your favorite part is, whatever it is, I'm going to unmute y'all so you can just share with everybody and give them just a little bit of what you experienced.
So I reported it to Facebook.
All right, so whoever wants to share, I know Brian said he would.
I'll share something.
Okay, Jill.
I want to say, I had some skepticism about going because it was my first convention. It's a lot of money to go. And, I know you said you got to go and everything, but still, I know you probably had it for your first convention. So there was some anxiety and, I just thought, I don't know about this, but I paid for it. So, but even afterwards, I mean, you can still cancel the hotel and everything. And I have to say, it changed my world. It completely changed my whole thinking about Plexus, my whole vision. And I mean, you guys can see my why on Team Smith, but it just completely rocked me to the core. And I mean, we all talk about Tarl and Alec and, what the company is about and everything, but I don't think you really see it until you're up close and personal and really understand what they do. I mean, I did not really get much wrapped around until you see 30-some people on stage receiving $3,000 checks. That just is mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. But then, when it came to the day for the breakout sessions, I know every single person like me who's not even ranked, much less just the silvers, all had the same thought. Oh my God, we're going to go over the kit again because we did it on Super Saturday. Boring. I know we all thought it. I know we did because I did, and I know everybody around me did. Unbelievable. Those jewels did such an outstanding job. I cannot even recap it because it was not, it just wasn't even what I thought. And I mean, 2 hours seemed like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I just completely blew my mind. And I was like, can we just do that all over again? Mm-hmm. I mean, these jewels, just to even be in their presence, and I'm not trying to glorify them above God or anything, but I mean, you just sit and listen to Brenda Martin, for example. Homeschooling 11 children, being over $100,000 in debt. I mean, she couldn't even get through her own testimony without being emotional, and I'm an emotional person. And yet she was right behind us going into one of the sessions, and she's just an ordinary person. And that's what she just kept saying. I'm just like you guys. I'm just like you. And I did it, and you can do it. And that was what I kept going over in my head, was they did it, I can do it too. And then the other thing that really got me was Victor challenging us on the very first day to go out and meet 3 people, 3 other strangers out of 12,000 people and get a tip from them. And I took that seriously, and I know my roommate, Kelly McEachran, did too. And we were like all over the place. Mm-hmm. And you know what? 12,000 people shrunk down to like 10 people. I met so many fantastic Plexus people, I can't even tell you. It brought the feeling of one Plexus, one team, one family to such a reality, because everybody was like, well, okay, give me yours. And I'm like, well, I'm not even a rank, but I do have one. No, I want to hear it. And
it was, and I think that Tarl, how many times did he say that? Like, if you don't know how Tarl feels, you weren't listening, because he talks about one team, one Plexus, one company all the time. He opens, he closes, he reiterates that constantly. So if you miss that, you were checked out, because he talks about it every time. And I love that you talked about Brenda Martin being a normal person. We laugh about it because when we came home, a lot of the really, really popular jewels, or the real superstar jewels that are known for their videos or whatnot, we were joking because the next day we were all exhausted. And Brenda said something like, yeah, I went to the grocery store and she's like, no one stopped me to take a picture. No one wanted to talk to me. She's like, it felt weird. Like, I'm back to normal nobody now, but it makes you realize that Brenda Martin is just Brenda Martin. If she wasn't a Plexus Diamond, you would never think twice about her. Not that she's not a wonderful, beautiful human being, but she wouldn't stand out to you like, you know, anything else. She's a mom. She's a wife. She was struggling in debt. She was crying and begging God to bring an opportunity to her, and look what she did with it. So it puts in perspective that if someone who's in the middle of nowhere that homeschools 11 children and is drowning in debt and didn't have a dime to her name can work hard for less than 2 years and create not only herself but her husband as a diamond family. That is mind-blowing. It's incredible. And that gives me hope that I can do that too. So I'm glad that you took that away, Jill.
Yes. And I just got to say one amazing, I don't even know this ambassador's name, but this amazing thing happened on the night of Little Big Town. You know, Kelly McEachern, God bless her. I got the first night, I had to wake up at 3 a.m. on the first day. And because of my lupus and fibromyalgia, I get a lot of bursitis in my joints. And so the mileage in that hotel, you know, it's like a mall. Mm. And so my hips locked up and my knees locked up, and we were trying to make it to the store, and we ended up just watching the Black Tie Gala people march on by. And then Kelly went and got me the wheelchair that night. So she wheeled me everywhere, thank God, because I never would have been able to walk. So the last night, we headed down there early, we thought, and we were so outside of the inside that we didn't even realize, you know, how many people were packed into that inner part. This lady grabs my arm and said, "You don't need to be on the upstairs. You need to come downstairs with us." And I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, I'll get you down there. That's where we've been all week. And I've been sitting upstairs on the railing." And I said, no, you have to be upstairs with the wheelchair. She goes, nope, I'm getting you downstairs. She was like, excuse me, cutting through the crowd before, you know, I mean, the whole inner part of the waiting area was jam-packed. And she was cutting through Plexus ambassadors, wheelchair. They had a little train going. And just about halfway through, they opened the doors. And it was like cutting through sardines the wrong way. And she got us downstairs. And what an experience. I mean, I didn't even know this lady. Mm. And she got us down there. And then, for those of you who didn't go, it wasn't just Little Big Town and this tribute band to Aerosmith. They had Cirque du Soleil, silk performers, and clowns before them. That just flipped me out. And, you know, Misty Flynn is a former clown, and I'm a former Ringling Brothers follower. And by the way, Misty and Kelly and I were trying to get our picture taken in front of the lion, and we asked this man, this is such a funny story, if he would take our picture, because Misty and I said, well, he looks like a, you know, trustworthy guy. Guess who he was? A clown with Ringling Brothers.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Only in Vegas, right? Only in
Vegas. Yeah, only in Vegas.
I forgot. Yeah, I didn't forget, but I forgot to mention. They did hire. They had beautiful silk dancers around the auditorium, and they had clowns, and they just went so all out for everybody to have, you know, something to watch and enjoy during that time. So, again, just that's Plexus and the Plexus way. So they just really always are doing so much for us to make sure that we are having a good time. So those are awesome stories. I'm sure everybody has lots of those fun stories. And I'm glad that everybody was on their, you know, Plexus love and their Plexus courtesy. And I know people had to wait in lines for a long time, and food lines were long, and it was very exhausting, and people had to walk for miles. So it just shows that the culture of our company is very kind, and the culture of our ambassadors is very genuine. So I appreciate that. Brian, you want to give some takeaways?
Well, I could give you a bunch. The first and foremost thing really that stuck out was, and this, you know, coming from a corporate America manager position at a big bank, I feel like a number at that building. Today was just another day of negativity, unfortunately. We just cut another staff member last week. And when my boss went on break for lunch today, I was literally running a bank with 3 associates. So how do you run a bank when there's $500,000 in the building with 3 sets of eyes and prevent a major problem? So yeah, I feel like a number at the bank. I feel not important. I don't feel valued. But when I went to convention, it was a completely different world for me. I was absolutely blown away at the integrity of the corporate folks, being able to hear them speak. A lot of them just truly exhibited that one Plexus, that Plexus Way mentality. The overall feel of the sessions was exactly the same way. The jewels by no means led the sessions as a way of talking down to folks. Not a single one of them gave you that vibe. So they talk to you like friends. They talk to you like family. They giggled, they laughed, they shared cries and tears. Just the entire week of developing a belief in the company and the people is my biggest takeaway. Yes, I can go to sessions and seminars and hear valued information. I can hear John Addison speak about leadership. I can hear Rita Davenport joke. But in the end, when I left convention, I left a changed man. Not only as a Plexus ambassador, but a man, a husband, a dad. So to kind of put it into perspective, I went to the Men of Plexus meeting, and that meeting in itself completely changed my life. And I can wholeheartedly say it. I left the meeting in tears. I immediately went to find my wife, who was in a Senior Ruby ambassador room, and immediately found her to hug her, kiss her, apologize to her, tell her I'm sorry for the last several years of being a product of the environment of my work. So I lost my job almost 2 years ago from Chase. But when I got employed with Bank of America, I noticed immediately I was the number, and it was not going to be a great place of employment. So as those months progressed, I became less and less involved here at the house. My wife having her own struggles here at home, I wasn't supportive of that. I wasn't encouraging enough to allow her to develop. And so, not that I'm saying we have a problematic marriage. By no means do we. We truly love each other. We truly value each other. And we are working together. However, I could have been doing better on her Plexus journey because, she's trying to be a stay-at-home mom. She's trying to work the Plexus business, and she's also trying to learn being a housewife. So things went downhill a little bit. I go to work, and it's work. And it's a very negative, dysfunctional environment that I have to work in. I have a 45-minute drive home. And I get home and I'm shut down, completely shut down. Kelly can probably attest to it because I'm sure she's had many stories from my wife and also from me sharing, circumstances. So I left the Men of Plexus meeting a changed person because they didn't talk numbers. They didn't talk money. They didn't talk what's it going to make for you to be successful in the business from a business sense. It was more of a personal, a life lesson that all 5 of the men up there spoke on. I highly encourage you. I see most everybody, as far as I see, are all females. I don't think you have any males on, Kelly. There's one number that I'm not sure who that is. So what I would say to the females that are on the call, and then, of course, any men that are going to listen to the call after the fact that it's recorded, is one of the quotes that stuck out was from Jared Abart, and he quoted himself as saying, "Be at her disposal." And it resonated in my mind like, oh my gosh. And it went to my heart, and I'm like, wow, I have to be at her disposal through every step of her journey with Plexus. There was another quote from Rob Heffley. He said, "We are a unified team. We do everything together." And again, just completely resonated in my being. So there was so much more to the Men of Plexus meeting, but in the end, I left a changed person. I think my wife, if she got on and spoke with you all, I'm not sure if Kelly could speak to it at this point, but it's not my words. I truly, truly, truly have left a different person. Mm-hmm. So those of you that are just kind of on the border of, how do you push through all this? The way I say you push through it is you truly, truly look at what the culture of this company is putting out there. They've been doing it for 8 years now. I've been involved for the last 2.5 years. Kelly, I think, is a little bit more than me, about 3 years. Mm-hmm. I honestly have not seen any wavering with the Plexus culture at all in any meeting, any opportunity meeting, any convention. And that's my biggest takeaway, is the company and its culture and what they drive. The people of this company are legit.
They really are. And I'm glad you touched on that. I wanted to say that for you because we had a Men of Plexus meeting. And when the Jewels were developing this, and Jared Abar, Rob Heffley, and a couple other of the guys, Willie, Eichenhorst, they wanted it to be for the men because mostly everything is geared toward women. We're going away from that because we know how many men are rocking this business, right? So it was strictly men, which I was really glad to see because a lot of times men will let their guard down if their wives are not in the room. They're more apt to maybe, put the image away and just listen to the other guys. There were 1,000 men in that meeting. The room was full. It was standing room only, and they did not expect that. So they were blown away. Their hearts were so touched by the fact that those husbands and brothers and uncles and whatever came to that meeting and sat there and listened. And every report that I have heard from that meeting is a lot like Brian's. The men left changed. They just were filled with the things that those guys were talking about on the panel. They felt uplifted. They felt touched, held accountable, enriched. So I'm glad that Brian was able to go to that. I know Joe, I believe Joe was there too. I had 2 man ambassadors there. I actually had 3 man ambassadors there. David Lyon was there also. And every one of them really enjoyed it. And I love the fact that we're doing this in Plexus. I love that we're making these things available to our spouses because who doesn't want to be a united front? Who doesn't want to pull double duty in this and make, 2 incomes with Plexus? So I will say that I was roomies with Brian and Odie and Trish, and we had a fantastic time. And I definitely saw that everyone was touched by this week. We all came changed people, more in love with the company, more ready to work than when we got there. I think all of us were committed before Plexus. So it wasn't a commitment issue for any of us, but it was more of a let's put all the excuses and the hiccups and the points and everything else that, and in the end, doesn't really matter because if we veer off of our goals, if we take our eye off the prize, that's when we start finding the hiccups. It doesn't matter how fast you go in this journey. It matters if you stop. That is the only thing that matters. Melissa Collins stood on stage as an emerald. She was an emerald at convention, but she sat at Senior Ruby for 4 years. 4 years she stayed at Senior Ruby, and she could not find the rank to emerald, but she never gave up, and that's the difference. The only way to not be successful in Plexus is to quit. So I just want to urge you that if you have been frustrated, if you have been stuck, if you have felt, that maybe you wanted to give up or quit, or maybe this wasn't for you, maybe you just didn't think that you could do it, you can do it. And the only way that you can't is if you quit. So I really encourage y'all, don't even give yourself the option to quit. Continue to be faithful in the company. Continue to be faithful with things that bring success, like sharing the products and sharing the opportunity. There's really only 2 things we're required to do or asked to do, and those are the 2 things that will make you the most successful, and that is sharing the products and sharing the opportunity. So if you guys can master those two things and stay committed to those two things, you will find success, whether it's next week, next month, or next year. It will happen. Again, we love Plexus. We love and appreciate everybody who was there. We appreciate some of y'all that couldn't be there. We hope that you put it on your radar for next year. And as we close out the recap, I know Brian and I have had this discussion. Odie and I have had this discussion. Now it's time for Leaders Retreat. And I love convention. I had a fantastic time. I always do. But my absolute favorite event is Leaders Retreat. And I think that, you guys should do everything humanly possible outside of all your fears and inhibitions and everything that you doubt. You should do everything you can to get there. And I think that you should spend the next several months doing all the things that make you feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable doing it, then that means you should be doing it. Right? All the things you're scared of, all the people that you know you should talk to and you haven't yet, go talk to them about Plexus. That person you're thinking of right now that you have not shared Plexus with, go share Plexus with them tonight or tomorrow. Do the things that make you feel uncomfortable, because things start changing and you start, taking strides ahead and you get out of your comfort zone. I have to do the same things. There's things, believe it or not, that I don't like to do. I am not a phone person. I am not a get on the phone and talk person. I'm just not. I will text. I text my own kids in their house. We're in the bedroom. I'm texting them from the living room. It's a beast to have it, a beast of nature, whatever. It's something that we do, and I am not a phone person. So I will get on the computer, like I will go out of my way to log into the computer or get my laptop or get my cell phone to send a voice text, or I'll voice text all day. I'll message all day and I'll text, but gosh darn it, I do not want to dial that 7 digits. I just don't want to. So guess what I'm going to be doing? Right? I'm going to be calling people because I know I don't want to and I know I don't like to. So I force myself to set the goal of using the actual telephone. Shocker, right? So you have that thing. If it's something that you don't like talking in person, maybe it's you've never held a meeting before and you've never spoke at an opportunity meeting. Guess what? You need to plan an opportunity meeting and you need to be the guest speaker. You need to stand up and you need to share your Plexus story. You need to get behind that table and say, hey, I want to talk to you about these products and opportunity. I'm pushing y'all out of your comfort zone. Now is the time to really do the things that make you feel uncomfortable, because I promise you it will bring good things. So I want every single one of you to get to Leaders Retreat, probably more than I wanted you to get to convention if that's possible. 750 points is what's going to get you to Leaders Retreat. And I know what you're saying because I've heard it already from other people. God, I just don't think I can do it. I don't think I'll be able to get there. That's a lot of points. It is. It is a lot of points. You're 100% right. It's not going to be easy, but I know that you can do it.
How do we do it, Kelly? How do we earn them?
You're going to break it down and you're going to get PV. You're going to try to get as many sales as possible because that's your biggest points. If you can really, really push to get a minimum of 500, you're ahead of the game. If you can get 1,000 PV, you're even further into it. So you really, 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 really want to push your sales. And that's why I said to utilize this block and the edge. Everyone you know should be ordering those two products right now. Because most people, that's the two biggest things. What did they say, Brian? It was the number one, I think he said it was the number one health complaint in the United States was lack of energy and focus.
Yeah, tiredness and fatigue.
Even over weight loss, shockingly. So I'm sure weight loss is right there at 2 or 3. Energy, y'all. People don't want to take a nap at 2 o'clock, right? They don't want to feel like they're frazzled every time they go to do something. We have the answer. They need to be on the edge. They need to get the Plexus Edge. So it's your job to communicate to people and educate them and get them to understand enough to say yes. Okay? Hear me on that. It's your job to let them know and have all the information to be able to say yes to purchasing the Edge. Or if it's weight loss for them, how many of us have customers that did not lose weight on the Triplex? I do. I have a ton. I have a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe they felt better. They were sleeping better. Maybe their guts got healthy, but they still didn't lose that weight as fast or as much as they wanted. That means you need to revisit them with the block. The new block, people in the Edge Together combined, people are dropping weight. They're feeling great. They're having energy. So you need to revisit those people and say, hey, I know you tried the triplex. I know you liked it, but you weren't like 100% sold on the weight loss part. Well, guess what? I have a game changer for you. I want you to order it right now. That's what you guys should be saying to all your past customers. You want as much PV as possible. You need to reach out to every single one of your family members. Everybody has family. You have a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, grandparents, godparents, whatever it is in your family. And you need to write them a heartfelt message or call them on the phone and give them a heartfelt message to say, hey, I know that you've seen my Plexus posts, or I know I'm doing Plexus. I have an incredible opportunity to go to a leaders event in Dallas, Texas, and I want to go with everything in me. And I need your help. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to try a product. I just want you to make one purchase. It doesn't have to be a preferred order. They don't have to commit to ordering preferred. Retail customers count. Anything over $50 counts as a new customer. All right? Retail or preferred, you're going to get 10 points. So you need to reach out to all your family members and all your best friends, all your, your church people, your whatever, you play tennis, your tennis group, your kids groups, whatever it is, and say, hey, I know you've seen me doing this Plexus thing. I know you said you're not interested in signing up. Totally fine, even though I think you're crazy, but I just want you to purchase for me. Try the multivitamin or try the new Edge. It's awesome. That's how you're going to get your PV high, and that's why you're going to get those big points for the month. Signing new ambassadors is the next way. You want to join people to your team. You want to get yourself, if you're not to silver, you want to get to silver. If you are silver and you have 3 people, you need to have every single one of those people silver by next month. Period. There's no other choice. That means you say, I need your list. Get me your list of 100. Let's get on the phone tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to go through your list. You're going to show me your top 5. And tomorrow we're going to schedule all 5 of those people for a phone call, or all 5 of those people for a 3-way. We're going to figure out how to get you to silver. Now is the time to put the pedal to the metal and get yourselves moving so you can get yourself to Leaders Retreat. In getting yourself to Leaders Retreat, you're going to rank up. So it's twofold. You're going to be getting new customers, you're going to be making sales, you're going to be adding new people to your team, and you're going to be earning those convention credits. So you're going to get the convention credits and you're going to promote because you're going to be adding new ambassadors. That's twofold win-win. And that's what I want each of you to do. And I want you to tell yourself, I'm doing it, period. Whatever I have to do. I'm going to do the tough stuff for a short time, so in the long term, I can enjoy it, right? You do the tough stuff for a little while that makes you feel uncomfortable. That's out of your comfort zone, but it's going to get you to your goal, and you're going to feel so happy and so excited when you reach that goal. It's going to push you to work even harder to get to that next goal. And before you know it, y'all are going to be on the floor at convention in chairs that are squishy and nice and comfy and nice seats. Yeah. You're going to be on the second row of Little Big Town, right? You're going to have the VIP breakfast because you are going to work your butts off the next year to get there. Right? So you do what's hard for a little while so you can sit back and enjoy your dreams for the long term. All right? And that's what I'm going to close with tonight. I adore you guys. You guys really, you bring me so much joy and so much just grace, and I love every one of you. I love watching your journeys. For me, my why has unfolded multiple times in this business. My why is still for my family. It's still to be able to support my family. It's still to be able to get my husband the best care that he can have in his recovery. But twofold. Now as an Emerald, if I sit at Emerald and wait for y'all to get here with me, I'm happy, right? If I'm sitting here saying, you know what, I'm going to bring my whole team next year, and they're going to be Emeralds too. Guess what? If y'all get to Emerald, I get to go to Diamond. So bring it on, right? We'll all get our dreams. We're all going to be pushing to all our goals, and we're dreaming on, and we're pushing for that next big incentive, which is Leaders Retreat. And with Leaders Retreat, it's going to be promotion. Okay? So
hey, real quick, 12 seconds. Can I have 12 seconds? Hey, for those of you that have any man ambassadors, Plexus Man Cave on Facebook, you need to get them involved. And then on Monday, starting Monday, there's now Man Ambassador Monday. It's a call. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern every Monday. Starting this week, it'll be Tim Thomas and Chris McCall. So get your folks, the men, over to that web page or that Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For potentials, Brian?
What's that?
Yes, you can bring potentials to that. That is
Yes,
potentials.
yes, potentials are welcome in that page. There's like 2,700 people in there right now.
Yeah.
What is it called? Because I got a couple from up in Michigan that I'm thinking of reaching out to.
It's called Plexus Man Cave. The only way they're going to be able to get invited into that group is if they've got a friend already in the group.
Oh.
So somehow, somewhere or another, a man will have to friend them to get them in.
Yeah, it's man only, but we can do that. Joe or Brian can, if you have someone, Brian can reach out to him, or Joe can reach out to him and say, hey, Susie wanted me to add you to this group or whatever. Very simple. One more thing before we close. Next Thursday, I'm launching the Team Smith Plexus Opportunity Call every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Starting next Thursday, every single Thursday at 8:30, you will have an opportunity call to bring your potentials to. This is not for ambassadors. This is not new ambassador training. This is not that all you guys need to be on every Thursday. This is for potential people. This is for your friends and family that you want to join your team or to purchase from you. You invite them to log into the Zoom. You can be on with them, and it's for potentials. So you want to invite, and know that there's a standing Zoom every Thursday at 8:30 for you to bring people to hear the opportunity and hear about the products, okay? And I have that link in the team page, and it's under our graphics. We can easily bump it up every Thursday so you'll know where it's at.
Hey, Kelly, one question.
Sure.
Do you know when Success on Demand is going to be available for us?
Everything is rolling out. It's so today the shareables, I think it's tonight, the shareables were ready. They're just literally day by day rolling all the stuff out that they've talked about at convention. So it's really, really soon. And Success Kits should be available really, really soon also.
Okay, thanks.
All right. You're welcome, guys.